William E. Smythe once wrote, "The civilization of California and the whole western coast now belonging to the United States began on the shores of San Diego Bay. What Plymouth is to New England and the region facing the Atlantic, San Diego is to the great empire which faces the Pacific." What's first greeted, though, is this lighthouse. Obviously not made for tourists. I'm from here, but I've never really hung out, like, never really done any much of history and stuff, so I'm kind of interested in that lately. This lighthouse was first built in 1855 to help guide boats and ships to the mouth of the bay at night and during the fog, and the people who took care of the light lived here. The light was finally put out in 1891. If you look over here in this tide pool area, they have a camera that's looking out into nothing. Wow, just look at this. Something about looking out into the edge of the world makes me want to call these types of views oblivion. In 1542, an explorer named Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo sailed these seas and first claimed San Diego for Spain, but then died shortly afterwards and was mostly forgotten in history. But then, in 1913, President Woodrow Wilson reserved space for a memorial that now stands a mighty monument to Cabrillo. As Smythe wrote, "San Diego owes its own fame, as well as Cabrillo's, to celebrate the achievement of a pioneer navigator and to erect a splendid memorial in his honor. As Farragut stands guard in Madison Square, so Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo should look upon the faces of passing generations of Californians in one of the public places of San Diego." After the bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941, San Diego went on high alert. They dug up the bay and used the extra sand to fill in Coronado, the harbors, and Mission Bay. They also sent thousands of men to San Diego and fortified their bases, including Point Loma. Today, though, the buildings stand as they were decades ago, preserved with the rest of the state park. Every year, they reenact what would have happened if their airspace was raided. And boy, do these guys go the full mile for their reenactments. It was actually a very impressive performance, and as you can see, I got some good shots. Afterwards, they let us down inside the bunker for a tour. They used to use these bunkers as little secret outposts to keep an eye out on San Diego's air and seas. Everything is how it was back then. Call me crazy, but if there was ever a zombie outbreak, this would be where I would hide. It's fortified, near the water, so I'll have food, with radio communications, and who can ask for a better view? Still, I would make sure to bring lots of food and video games. Going down.
Go on in, welcome.
San Diego and Mission Bays all used to be one big bay, but over time, dirt from the San Diego River piled up into a delta, extending Point Loma into the mainland and separating the bays into two. You can see how the land separates the bays here. By the time the U.S. surveyed it, it had become marshland and was named False Bay. If you're just visiting, it's easy to get False Bay confused with San Diego Bay, and many people did. Since the 1800s, False Bay had been a popular fishing area. In the 1940s, however, the bay was finally literally rebuilt from scratch, making Mission Bay the largest man-made bay in the country.
What we are looking at here are seagull tracks.
You know, one time I fell into these things while it was on fire. The area is split into 5 areas: Crown Point, Mission Beach, Vacation Island, Fiesta Island, and SeaWorld. The fire pit story was from Fiesta Island. Right now, we're on Vacation Isle. We are in Ski Park Landing or something. So I saw this trail while I was over there, and I decided to follow it and see where it leads me. Wow, look at this. See, what I like about this shot here, or this area here, is that it really shows the shape of the bay. Though in reality, nothing shows the shape better than aerial shots. We're on the northern half of Vacation Isle and moving west, following the beach and filming what I like. I almost wish I could afford to rent one of those little cottages for a week. Look at all the footprints in the sand. All the different types, little and big. Yeah, the trash. She sells seashells by the seashore. Look at all this. Look at all these seashells. Oh, this one is perfect. I'm sending this to you girls. Mine, 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 mine. So I cleaned up the shell, wrote I love you on it, and it should be in the bottom of your mountain of Christmas presents. Enjoy your San Diego Seashell. Oh, want to see something cool? Okay, I'm going to show you guys something I just noticed here. Now there's seaweed all over here. Like, I don't know if you've ever... This is seaweed, okay? It's a little bit trash, you can see, but... See how small these little things are? I used to pop these things all the time, right? This is a little seaweed thing. You can always pop these things and stuff like that, but I haven't done it in years. Anyways, so here's what I just came up on. That is huge. That's like one giant little, that's like one giant seaweed thing right there. It's all like rotting and stuff, but wow, that is huge. And in case you're wondering, yes, I'm practically just going around the island in the middle of the bay. One of the cooler attractions in Mission Bay is the Giant Dipper roller coaster at Belmont Park in Mission Beach. It's a 75-year-old roller coaster and is the shakiest 2 minutes of your life. I remember in the late 90s, a local radio station held a contest where contestants stayed on the roller coaster for a whole month in order to win a car. If you'll observe the old shaky footage of me riding the Giant Dipper against the beautiful backdrop of the area, you'll notice how blue the sky is. You'll also notice that the older style digital camera makes my head look like it's waving around like jello. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Mission Bay is also where SeaWorld is. My friend and I went there to help film a scene for a movie called Anchorman 2. Here's Philip and Ron Burgundy. And here's me and Philip. But that might not be the appropriate movie for you kids to watch yet. So we're moving on to Mount Soledad's Korean War Memorial. Yay! You gotta see this. Check this out. Oblivion. Then you see Point Loma. And then you see San Diego. Mountains, more mountains. And then there's La Jolla. There's the there's that church. And then up on top of here, we have a giant cross. So let's go up here. Woo. As of December 2013, the city has 90 days to remove the giant cross that has been standing there since the 1950s. Kinda sucks. Since 1913, there's been a cross on top of this hill. So to try and save it, it was converted into a war memorial, but it didn't change much. Still, you gotta love this view. We've covered so much, but there's still much more yet to discover. I hope you'll join me next time.